everybody. Welcome back to another Coffee with Lorelei. This is Coffee with Lorelei number 7. So I thought I was finished recording my Coffee with Lorelei sessions, but I've been honored with some more questions and from other DNRS retrainers and other brain retraining warriors. And so I got 2 groups of questions, which I'm going to address in this video. The first group is about dysautonomia, body temperature, and flushes, and that kind of thing from a number of people. And the second group is about my core beliefs, opposites, and new affirmations. About 6 people messaged me about that. So I have put them all together, and as always, I always like to say that I am not a DNRS trained coach, and I'm not a registered clinical counselor. I have great respect for those people and their professions. These are answers strictly from my perspective and that are true for me in my journey. And so please take what I say with a grain of salt. And you can check it over with your DNRS coach or your clinical counselor or your physician and just see what rings true for you. And of course I bring in some of my perspective as a physical therapist before my storm, and from my experience as a molecular and cellular biologist, so I've that colors my perspective. So, but I am not a doctor, and so these are sort of my interpretations of what has been presented to me and my interpretations of your questions. So if I haven't quite read it right or not really going with what you're actually wanting me to answer, sorry, message me again, and we'll take it from there. So thank you so much for honoring me with your presence. And so without further ado, welcome, and so happy to have you here. The first question, and I have actually written all the my core beliefs and opposites in the video description. What will fit, I have a word limit in the description, but if I can't fit it all, it will be posted on the forum. And I do realize that some people with a number of its have difficulty reading, so I have verbally said all my new core beliefs and opposites and affirmations out loud for the people who have difficulty reading or have difficulty spending time on the forum. So that's mostly why I've decided to put it in a video format. Okay, so so the first question, I'm going to read it out, is Dear Lorelei, we are a group of retrainers, mostly from Europe and a few from Canada. Some of us have problems with heat and hot flushes. In the first of your Coffee with Lorelei sessions, you briefly tell how you became aware that the flushes were just limbic, and then they went away so quickly. Since some of us suffer from inner heat and flushes, we would be very happy if you would do a Coffee with Lorelei session on the topic. And so I'm going to try and not go into too much science, but the autonomic nervous system, as you all know, it regulates unconscious body functions. It our breathing rate, our heart rate, our body temperature, involuntary muscles, and it digestive system, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It regulates a whole number of body functions. And so with the autonomic nervous system, there is the sympathetic nervous system response and the parasympathetic nervous response. So those divided into 2. And as we know, the sympathetic nervous system is what's responsible for our fear, flight, and fright response, where, oh, there's a tiger, and it causes us to get ready to either fight the tiger or flee from that paper tiger or whatever it is. So you get an increase in heart rate, an increase in blood pressure, increase in respiration rate. You get dilation of certain blood vessels. You get blood flowing to certain areas to get you ready to run, and constriction of blood vessels to digestive system, because you don't need to digest right now, you need to run. So the fight, flight, fright response, that's the sympathetic nervous system. And you can certainly, look at this on the web, and gets much better descriptions and explanations on the web. But then you also, so if you go into polyvagal theory, that the freeze response, or the sort of the playing dead response, where, okay, the tiger, you're going to numb yourself and play dead. And so you get the dorsal vagal. So the vagal response is ventral or dorsal. And again, you can look up polyvagal theory, and there's books on it about the freeze response, or the sort of, playing dead response to sort of, and it's almost a numbing and a drop in body temperature, a drop in heart rate. So there's lots of different factors that happen with the sympathetic nervous system and body temperature, flushing, heart rate, etc. Now, I think I mentioned in one of my videos, is that there's two major pops that the limbic system looks out for. Is it wants to know that we are safe and that we are good enough. That so the safety is constantly looking for tigers in our environment, body scanning, that kind of thing, checking, do we have food, do we have water, do we have shelter, etc. And then the belonging to the tribe, because from an evolutionary perspective, we want to belong to a group, because the evolutionary success rate of a group is much higher than an individual. So we want to belong to a group, and we want to be seen as worthy. And so we have that built-in sort of evolutionary bias to keep on checking that we are seen as good enough. And so when we perceive that we have made a mistake, that perception of embarrassment, shame, like I've made a mistake, I'm going to get kicked out of the tribe, that triggers the adrenaline response. And in humans, my understanding is that the facial veins will dilate, and so we'll get a blushing response in conjunction with increase in heart rate, increase in blood pressure. And so that blushing response and that flushing response is from the limbic system, is from the sympathetic nervous system. So now that's just one sort of facet of body temperature and flushes and flushing, because there's a lot more. I'm trying to simplify this because there's some people get flushing from food intolerances and allergy its. And now this is my theory. I'm not sure about how, because my understanding is that it's still not very well known of why we get this flushing response with food intolerance its. So, and medications, sulfites. And so my theory is that the limbic system thinks that we're not safe because we've developed a food sensitivity. And so you'll still get the sympathetic drive, the adrenaline response of flushing in the face, and an increase in body temperature, etc. Now, there are a lot of other mechanisms that can be at play. For women, in menopause, hot flashes are known to be a symptom of menopause, with regards to the drop in estrogen and the drop in progesterone. So there's a lot of unknowns, theories with regards to that kind of response. And women's health is getting better researched. It has not been well researched, for a number of reasons, which I won't get into, but I think there's coming to an understanding, like, why do menopausal women get frozen shoulder? Like, what is the mechanism? Why do women get migraine headaches? It's when they're having their monthly cycle. So there's a whole bunch of different factors that are not well understood about the flushing and hot flashes in women. So what happened to me in my own story is that I am in my 50s. I am menopausal, and for me, when I was working as a physical therapist and specializing in dizziness and balance, I had a fair amount of women that were menopausal who were coming to me for treatment for dizziness and balance issues, and my theory at the time, and what was sort of borne out in the current literature, was that the hormones that are involved with pregnancy, that make you nauseous with morning sickness, and the sort of the autonomic rhythm of blood flow to the uterus and body temperature and changes, those are very complex issues. And so in menopause, my theory was, and like I said, some of it was borne out in the literature, is that all the hormones that make you feel nauseous when you're pregnant are also the hormones that can make you feel dizzy and unsteady in menopause. So they're just the similar effects, perhaps going in reverse. So when I was trying to stationary bicycle for 3.5 years, for more than a minute, before I got a flushing response in my face, I would get a pulse sound in my ears. Sometimes I would get headaches, and sometimes I would get dizzy, and I would get blood pressure issues. And it's, I tried for a very long time with my coach, doing rounds before, doing rounds during rounds after, sandwiching them, not thinking about it while I'm bicycling, laughing while I was doing it. But it was that sort of like, I think I was getting more and more hot flashes, because I had some changes hormonally. And I realized that even the very slightest, like 0.5% trigger of my limbic system would actually cause my face to flush and for me to start sweating and start, doing the I'm really hot thing. And I started tying in probably about a year ago that my hot flashes were directly related to stress or anxiety or my limbic system being triggered in some fashion, where I've thought about a pop. I'm either, that I'm safe or I'm not enough pop. Usually I'm not enough pop. And that would cause my face to flush, and that would be, I was embarrassed. And I kind of was on the stationary bike, and I guess I was I was getting ready to cycle, and I had that sort of aha moment where, okay, I just had a slightly triggering thought, I getting the hot flash, and I'm sitting on the bike, but I'm not doing anything yet. And I got the exact same its that I got when I actually, after I've ridden for a minute on the bike. And I went, well, this is so limbic. My limbic system is triggered in some manner, in some fashion, and is causing all these its. And so once I kind of really believed it and really understood that blushing and embarrassment was limbic, and from feeling like I'm not good enough, and that it didn't matter whether I was on the bike, where I had a slight kind of almost like a subconscious, unconscious trigger that I'm slightly worried that I'm going to get symptoms while I'm stationary biking, that I realized that, oh, okay, it's completely limbic, and I'm labeling it as limbic. And like within, I can't remember, like it went away within days. like I was bicycling after working on this for 3.5 years. Within like 5 days of me realizing, oh, my flushing, my facial flushing was an adrenaline response. My facial veins were dilating. I'm feeling embarrassment or shame or subconscious fear and anxiety on some level, and it's causing this. And somehow that record, that limbic physiological record, is being played every time I try and do this. So I would just, bicycle for a couple minutes. I'd get the response, and I'd just go, that's so limbic. That's fine. And then I just keep on going. 2 minutes, 2.5, 3, and 3.5, 5. And within like the first 5 days, I was doing 5 minutes. Once I had relabeled and decided that I wasn't going to play that record anymore, that it was just limbic. My prefrontal cortex minimized it and downplayed it, and made me realize that it is it is such a limbic response that I was able to switch on to a different record. And so I hope that sort of makes sense. If it doesn't, message me again and word it slightly differently so that I can kind of get to what you're thinking about. So I hope that helps. But if you can even look up, like, why do I blush when I get embarrassed, or on the internet, or and like I said, the realm of women's issues and health issues is just starting to mushroom about how we function. Our physiology is so different than men's, in that that we're much more we have much more moving pieces. So that it'll be very interesting to look at this topic again, which is a great question. So I just want to look at my notes here. And different hormones like thyroid, which again, that's the whole hypothalamus pituitary response from the overdrive of the limbic system trauma loop, that alcohol, caffeine, medications, like it all ties in to the sympathetic overdrive and the limbic response of flushing and body temperature. So I hope that works, that's understood. I'm just bringing up my new core beliefs because I've got it on a Word document, and there it is. Okay, so so that's the first half of the group of questions I wanted to answer. The second half is my new core beliefs, affirmations, and opposites. And I think I mentioned before that almost all of them are in already my blog posts and my laughter yoga videos and my other videos. But I think some people were having difficulty because of their its finding them all and pointing them out. And so I've put it all in this one place. And these are core beliefs and affirmations and opposites that are true for me. And sorry, my printer's acting up. I hope you tune out the noise. And each core belief of mine has actually a story. Most of them actually have multiple stories of how that life lesson was really punctuated for me. And and you'll be making your own list of core beliefs and opposites and new affirmations that are true for you. And so these are just what has resonated for me. And it'll be a beautiful journey for you as you discover yours. And but this is sort of a starting point for those who want a starting point. And I want to say also that for the people who have a longer transforming journey, it's not your fault. You know, we all have these rain showers and rainstorms that have happened to us in our lives. And sometimes, you know, we get these negative core beliefs that have been, you know, passed on to us either culturally or through our family. And it takes time because sometimes they're quite deep and they've been there for so long we don't notice them, and we're not even aware of them until, you know, as you peeling back the layers of that onion and sort of really going, oh, well, what am I thinking? Why am I thinking that? Do I want to think that? Like, it takes time to become aware, and it takes time to become. And so I just want to say that just offer yourself so much compassion and also validation that sometimes this journey is challenging. And, you know, we have been through some challenging times, but we can absolutely overcome them, and we can absolutely transform. So I'm going to read out my new core beliefs now. So I always start off with, and these will sound familiar, I am safe, I am loved, I'm so much more than enough, and I'm so much more than good enough. I'm a magnificent child of God. I'm a channel of love and peace. Now, I am a Christian, and so for those of you who have other spiritual faiths or religious faiths, please insert what rings true for you. But these are mine, and do what resonates with you. I have all the time and resources I need to be and do all that I'm meant to be and do. I get to choose how I think, how I feel, and how I respond to every situation. I may not always get to choose what happens to me, but I absolutely get to decide how I respond to it. I get to decide who I want to be in this life. I get to make choices that are in alignment with my goals, my values, my self-care, and my joy. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. I am the creator of my reality and my perception, and thus my destiny. I choose to have faith. I choose to trust God and the universe. I choose to live in this moment, this one, and be so grateful for it. I choose to celebrate now. I choose to celebrate life. I choose to celebrate me and all that I get to do today. I choose to listen for signals from the universe. I can dance with life. I can dance with uncertainty. I can sit with uncertainty. I can embrace infinite possibilities. I choose to be flexible and trust the universe. I can feel my way through life. I can say yes to life, yes to now, and say thank you. I choose to relax in the flow of life. I don't fight the current. I choose to let life carry me. I don't try and carry it. I can just be. No more over-planning and overthinking. I can feel my way through life. I have faith in the unknown. I refuse to worry. I refuse to try to control the future and stressing about things that may or may not happen. Fear is an illusion, a ghost of painful memory. Forgiveness is giving up the hope that the past could have been any different. Everyone is doing their best to their level of awareness. I trust God and the universal master plan and the universe's perfect timing. And Albert Einstein once said, there are only two ways to live life. One is that nothing is a miracle. And two, everything is a miracle. And I choose to believe that everything is a miracle. I am one, unified in mind, body, heart, and soul. I will listen to all parts of myself. I'm 95% subconscious or unconscious, and only 5% is conscious. I will listen to all parts of me. I don't let perfect be the enemy of good. And if my intentions for what I say and do come from a place of light and love, I have nothing to be ashamed of. I will make mistakes, but I can learn from them. I am human, which means I am beautifully flawed. I only have one ticket for this journey, and this moment will never come again. I choose to be me first, woman. I get to follow my joy and my self-care first. I choose to let go of the past and memories that don't serve me. I choose to love myself and be kind and compassionate to myself. I choose to forgive myself and others. I choose to be love and the light of hope. I choose to always do my best and leave the negative self-dialogue pop rest. I choose to not put limits on myself. The sky is the limit. I choose to be my own wise advocate and treat myself like my own best friend. I choose to be my eternal true self. I am fully transformed. I can turn my limbic system off. I choose to be awake. I choose to be aware. I choose to be here now. I choose to be grateful. I choose to be happy. I choose to celebrate my life. I'm not responsible for anyone else but me. In everyone's life, a little rain must fall. It builds strength and resilience and self-evolution. Each soul must walk their own path and their own journey. We all know what the mind wants, but we might not know what the soul wants. And the soul wants to evolve. I am complete. I am enough. And just like the eagles, dolphins, and birds and trees, I am magnificent. And we are all enough. We are all unique, and we are all equal. and we are all magnificent. And this is me not seeking approval from others and not caring what other people think. I am self-acceptance woman and self-appreciation woman. I am self-care woman, and I am self-compassion woman and self-celebration woman. I am self-love woman and self-forgiveness woman. I am boundary woman and force field woman. This is mine and this is not mine. This is me and this is not me. I don't take anything personally. I make no assumptions. I let go of expectations, and I'm letting go of responsibilities, woman. I am a woman full of faith and grace. I am a calm and centered woman, and I will sometimes wobble off the center, but I can always come right back to center. I am beautifully flawed woman, which is also known as fall down, look at everybody else down there in the mud, with compassion, hug myself, get back up, laugh, and keep on going. I'm authentically and unapologetically me. I'm as free as a bird and as light as a feather. And what is the most loving thing that I can choose for myself in this moment? I am one with God, and one with now, and one with life. I am strong and resilient. I love and accept myself, my flaws, and my strengths. And life will find me when it's supposed to, and life can only be lived one day at a time. And I can let my life unravel so effortlessly and naturally. I am love. I am joy. I am connected with everyone and everything. And I am eternal. I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. I choose to listen with compassion and wanting to understand others' perceptions without judgment. In conflict, I get to make a choice to feel love or anger and fear. I activate my choice muscle. I expand my awareness. And my life changes. I don't shrink and I don't puff up. I have nothing to prove or show off. I am eternal. I'm a beautiful ocean wave, shining and dancing and splashing in the sun. And one day I will go back to the ocean from whence I came. But right now I get to celebrate life. I am my true self. No one to impress, just myself to express. I can sing my one true note and fill the U-shaped hole in the universe. I can be brave and brokenhearted. I belong to myself. I can be the love that I am looking for. I can be the one that my soul is seeking. I can defend my view of the elephant. So that I mentioned the parable of the blind man and the elephant in a previous video. Or I can walk away. I promise to take care of myself. And I trust myself. I can dance, and I can sing, and I can connect with family and friends. And I can just be. I can watch the sunrise. I can watch birds and flowers and the wind. And for life's learning opportunities, I can be the change that I wish to see in the world. And the universal intelligence that created the miracle of life is so much more powerful and magnificent than humankind. And everything's going to be just fine. And that's them. And I usually spend about 5 minutes in gratitude every day, multiple times a day. This world, trees and flowers and birds, my life, my body, my home, my family, my friends, food, water, health, safety, education, electricity. I just notice all the things I have. And I always finish off with, thank you for all that I have in this moment. Who I am, what I can do, and who I can be. I'm alive, and I'm enough. And in this moment, I see love and joy and beauty and miracles all around me. And I'm loving my life. So that's them. And I wish you all the peace and joy and love and laughter and discovering yours. And thank you for joining me. Until next time.